The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits. Well, it's finally getting to that time where I am just so overblown with information and news that I don't even have time to update my website, which is fine. I'm just going to go through a bunch of tabs here. That's how much we got going on. Clear Lake-backed manufacturer Janus is merging with the SPAC. I let some folks know on the Patreon and all that last night, but Juniper Holdings, y'all remember that? Juniper, JIH, I believe is the ticker. The manufacturer Janus International Group LLC, backed by private equity firm Clear Lake Capital, is merging with a blank check company, according to people with knowledge of the matter. Janus, which makes doors and gates for self-storage facilities, will combine with special purpose acquisition company Juniper Holdings. Combined entity will be valued at $1.9 billion, including debt. Well, it's not EV, so it's not cool, so don't buy it, right? I don't know. Depends on what you want exposure to in your profile. Dude, we've talked about this. Storage units, they do very well in the stuff that's going to be happening in the next 2 to 5 years, where people are going to be homeless and need a place to store heavy, expensive, weird stuff, or even live in. This happens. This is great. Storage units are going to be doing fantastic. Came out with a press release this morning and totally got through the LOI and admitted everything. Juniper's in. It's the real deal. This is lacking the cool factor, though, right? How are they going to make this cool? Well, they have some brands that they can throw in, like here, but I've never heard of any of them. Should I, though? Not really, because I'm not really in this space for anything I've ever done. It's legit, though. As far as I can tell, it's the leading provider of self-storage, commercial, and access control technology solutions, clear market leader, and identify, position, and capitalize industrial tailwinds, strong project organic growth, robust cash flow profile. So whenever, like, U-Haul, y'all have been to U-Haul, you know the metal doors that roll up? These are the guys that make them. They're also doing something where you can do, like, keyless entry on them. Like over here, they have an app, and then it's, you don't have to touch the lock. That's cool. The less we can touch stuff now, I'm sure people are going to be happy about. I can care less personally, but, that's cool. It's a feature that a storage lot could use to help sell as a selling tool. Other than that, I don't even want to get into it. I mean, it is what it is. I just don't think it's going to be cool. There's metal everywhere in these places, these roll-up doors, like the front. They're going to make all this metal stuff. It's a good industry. They're making money. It's going to keep continuing to grow. They've got software that they're really trying to pitch, so that Noke software. The cool thing about being able to use your phone to unlock stuff is it's all trackable at that point. They track stuff now, but now they can really track stuff. Who exactly was in the IP address linked to the phone, maybe the phone number with it. All that. Institutional, they are showing Life Storage, Public Storage, U-Haul, CubeSmart. I've heard of all those. Anyone in the storage industry? I know some folks that are. They'd probably be all over this. I just don't see this thing running. It could in this market, though. It could definitely run. If you want this investor presentation, just let me know. We'll find it, or just Google it. Fantastic team, though. We've been over this video 2 times. We've done 2 videos on Juniper. They're great. I'm sure they're going to be fine. It's just, is it ever going to be cool? I don't know. How about Ouster? Y'all heard of Ouster? Ouster, a leading provider of high-performance digital LiDar sensors to combine with Colonnade Acquisition Corp to accelerate digital LiDAR adoption in industrial, smart infrastructure, robotics, and auto-driving markets. Dude, another LiDAR play. This one seems a little bit more legit than the last one. They've actually got a product that's done and ready to rock. We've talked about that's a good and a bad thing. People want what they can't have. If you tell them, we got the best battery in the world, we promise. It'll take us 5 years, though, and you can't have it right now. People are like, yeah, just take all my money. But if you say, I've got the best battery right now, nothing on the market is better than what I have, doesn't mean anything. Why? Because you can go buy it. Consumers can go buy this right now. Auto manufacturers can buy this. That's a good thing because they can pull in money, but the way stocks move now and companies hype, it just is what it is. People want what they can't have. The transaction expected to provide $300 million in gross proceeds, compromise of Colonnade's Acquisition Corp's $200 million of cash held in the trust, and a $100 million fully committed PIPE got 100 million in pipe, jumping in there. This is a cool deal. I actually like this company. You know, they've got a website where you can see the product. I mean, they're branded. I think this one can do pretty well. Is it getting a little overrun with LiDAR plays? Maybe a little bit. But competition breeds the opposite of scarcity, right? So the more it's out there, the more people want it. People have done well in the first LiDAR play, maybe want a new LiDAR play because they're like, well, the first one did good, I'm going to get the newest one again. Got like 3 SPACs that aren't even done with merging yet, right? Anyways, check it out. Lots of fantastic info, investor presentation on this. Everything looks good. Real partners that do have investments from Cox Enterprises and partners with Postmates. That's big. NVIDIA. That's big. This one's really good. U.S. Army. All right. Benchmark Electronics. Ike. May Mobility. Krogains. Never heard of that. Xinex. I don't know. I will say there was something kind of confusing here that I could see people popping on. They showed a bunch of other brands down here. Right here. But they're saying flexible architecture opens applications across industries. You see all these brands here. If you look at this tiny little thing down here, it says logos represent the target ecosystem of each market. So they don't have contracts with all these people. When I first saw this, first glance, I was like, there is no way they have contracts with all those people. All the big boys, Hitachi, CAT, John Deere, Scandia, Microsoft, Verizon, Google, Honeywell, Postmates, Army, BMW, Daimler, Volkswagen. No way. Pay attention to the little writing. It should mean a lot to you. Regardless, you know, again, everything's doing good. They need some money. They're also playing the robotics thing, which is pretty tight, right? You know, and the technology's now, so this might grab a different type of investor and not just a SPAC bro or girl, right? It's going to get the people that are like thinking SPACs are too crazy because they have no revenue for 5 years, yada, yada, yada. You might get some people. They're even shown here versus Velodyne LiDAR, Luminar, Ava, and Innoviz. They're saying they're a little bit better. Scalability via customization, virtually unlimited software-defined customization. So they're saying we can do it right now. We can make it custom. Low cost. Customization enables rapid scaling across industries. So yeah, anything's possible with the right amount of money, right? They're saying even the custom stuff's pretty low priced. Good deal. One common architecture with 2 flexible platforms. So that's going to cut down on their costs. High performance, mechanical, and true solid state technology. Ooh, there's that hype word, solid state. Clear cost advantages. Highly scalable manufacturing driven by a simplified digital architecture, strong unit economics rooted in Moore's law. All right, keep it simple is what they're saying. Moving on from there, AT&T disappointed. They ain't happy with the offers for the struggling DirecTV. Can you imagine living in a time like we do now where you can have a completely struggling business and you can pay people like the New York Post to write an article out to all the people who are offering you billions of dollars for your company, and they can make it seem like it just isn't enough. 15 billion is just not going to cut it. Even though this is a terrible business to buy right now, we want more money, and we're just going to have the New York Post talk about it. Talked about this before. They putting a thumb on their forehead, on everyone's forehead, like, come on, we're worth more than this. Come on. AT&T's attempt to unload, that's what they're doing, unload DirecTV has been thrown into doubt as the telecom giant has signaled it's unhappy with the offers it has received for the struggling satellite TV service, the Post has learned. Earlier this month, AT&T pushed back a deadline for final bids for DirecTV to January. 15 billion ain't enough. They want more. And told prospective bidders it may cancel the auction altogether if it doesn't get better offers, according to sources close to the situation. Mr. Michael Klein, CCIV, I bet you the only reason he is actually going for this is the only one that fit in his ridiculously high piped spec. How many billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar companies are going to allow another company to come in and try to take part of it and help them list on the stock market? Not that many. Otherwise, don't you think Ackman would have had 2 or 3 by now? That's why I like the sweet spot I talk about 250, 200 million is great because you can still get those emerging companies that are coming up. When you get to people like DirecTV, they're cocky. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, but Klein knows if he does not bring his daddies a deal with that billions of dollars in his MERS, he's going to get some spankings. They are not going to be very happy. Regardless, some of the bids came in over $15 billion, including debt. But insiders tell the Post that AT&T is dissatisfied with those offers, has invited private equity giant TPG Capital to study the books in hopes that it will make a binding offer that props up the price. Hey man, can you like prop the books up and like give me an estimate to say it's worth like $20 billion, man? Other participants include Apollo Global Management, which according to sources offered less than $15 billion, including debt, and investing tycoon Michael Klein's blanket check company, Churchill Capital Force, CCIV. Indeed, AT&T's threat to cancel the auction appears to have surpassed bidders, including Michael Klein. Last week, Klein priced a second blank check company, CCV, Churchill Capital 5, at $450 million, which is a lot better price point, leading some of the speculative. He has been confident of closing the DirecTV deal with us in this month. Yeah, so yeah, we talked about that. If you have another one, and one isn't even done yet, obviously they're trying to move on to something else. Now Klein, who according to the source has voiced optimism about good news regarding DirecTV in the coming days, is in the unusual position of having two blank check companies searching for deals. Yeah, he knows he has to close this one. Otherwise, you think he'd be going after DirecTV if he had another place to put that $1 billion? Bidders are surprised AT&T's threat to pack up and go home, partly because its DirecTV business continues to shrink. Amid rising competition with video streaming platforms like Netflix and more recently AT&T's own HBO Max service, who's shooting themselves in the foot because they're the ones who have DirecTV. They wonder why it's not worth anything, and they've lost now $30 billion in 2 years. Wonder why. Moving on from there, this is our Patreon. This is what it looks like here if you want to see a little bit. This is some stuff I put out. Today, the door to Wall Street, Webull in negotiations to merge with Ion's SPAC. Put SPAC company. It's pretty funny. SPAC company, Ion Investments. It's a SPAC. We've talked about this. At least I have to my Patreons. This is from Israel, I believe. They're searching for some over there. The group raised $260 million in October for a merger with a private company worth more than $1 billion. Tabula seems to be its preferred choice. All right. So what is Tabula? As far as I can tell with my limited research, it's just like an online digital ad company. So people who make like pop-up ads, they're like a middleman for ads. I don't know if they have partners with Google or whoever, but they're obviously making a lot of money. I don't think this one's going to do crazy awesome, so I just passed on it, right? It could, but online ad agency, I don't know. I think it's kind of missing that cool factor. Regardless, it's something to keep in mind about it, and it's not 100% official. Still could pivot. Huge news over here. Patrons knew about this too quite a while ago. Imperium Motors Corp, a division of DSG Global Inc., receives first overseas shipment and introduces our first group of electric vehicles for the U.S. market from Johnway, Skywell, and Rumble Motors. It's old news, man. We already knew all this, right? Ticker D. Is that right? I'm not going to say it. Just type in DSG Global. DSG Global on your broker if you want to jump into this one, or just look it up. But regardless, via the subsidiary of Imperium Motors, they announced the receipt of 3 shipments totaling 73 electric vehicles, representing the first containers of the John Wayne Skywell Rumble Motors electric vehicles arriving at our location in Fairfield, California. Dude, the current shipment includes the high-speed Skywell ET5 SUV. This thing is nice. If you want to see my other videos about this, I have 2 total videos about this company. Go watch. I go into a lot more detail. multiple John Way scooters. So they've got like the small scooters, they got like small little cars, and they got big SUV, they got a truck. A variety of 3- and 4-wheeled cars, vans, and trucks, and a large container of Rover electric bikes products and other Rumble Motors models, which will be shown by the company's Experience Center. This isn't just one SUV, this isn't just a truck. They've also got a van, a cargo van that could compete with FIII. The ever-increasing demand for electric vehicles for passenger leisure and work applications has made for an exciting time to be in the electric vehicle business, and we are extremely excited to introduce these innovative vehicles to the United States. We have a rising number of commitments from dealers across the country and are working to keep up with demand for these vehicles. I like this play because they're not going to have like full-on custom experience centers all over the world instantly. They're just going to utilize everyone else's shop, right? Maybe like Tesla places that sell only electric vehicles. It could pull some of these in and be like, well, the Tesla is 100,000, this thing is only 50,000. Which one do you want? Commented Bob Sulzer, the global president and CEO, the delivery of several of these electric vehicles serves as their introduction to the U.S. market. We look forward to helping to expand our consumers and industry's views on what to expect from electric vehicles. So here's the SUV. Here's this little like electric bikey thing. It's kind of cool. The bob it around looks really small though. This thing even looks cool, like a golf cart. This 3-wheel thing, I'm not a fan of 3-wheelers, but I could see this being big too. Like market stuff, fairs or something. Little truck bed in the back, and you've even got like scooters, 100% electric scooters. I think being in the Bay Area is a good idea to launch stuff like these. These might even sell like crazy. Can you imagine? Tons of them. Even these little cars. I wonder if these are street legal. They have a ton of different ones. HCAC, our Hennessy boys are finally growing up and getting kicked out of the chicken coop. They're switching tickers. EVGO. No, not EVGO. What is this new ticker? I think it's EVGO. Look it up. But anyway, Hennessy, HCAC, I believe is changing its ticker tomorrow. Cool. I still would love to hear them announce any sort of pre-sale on something. Just be aware of that though. And the other one we have here is Haymaker Acquisition 2, ticker HYAC. Haymaker is finally growing up, kicked out of the chicken nest, and is going to become ARKO Holdings. This SPAC is done. This is one I have no idea how it's going to do. This is like the gas station retail play. I have a video on that. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. This is again kind of like the door thing. Like, this is actually great. These people get gas stations, they make them way cooler, and they build them up, and then they make them way more profitable. It's missing the cool factor, though. You know, I guess if they made a deal with like Starbucks or something like that, it might help them hype, but I would watch this one. It could go down after this ticker change the next couple days to a week. Just watch it if you're in here. Just be careful. If this thing gets cut in half, I might be looking to take a position, but I just don't like my money sitting around doing nothing. That's where I stand on that. Any other news that I totally missed? In fact, I have one more piece I gotta give you. Mr. Jim Cramer has warned the world, America. He said tonight he's going to be talking about electric vehicles. If you're interested in them, stay tuned. He's got some big news, something like that. So we got to watch that here next. I'm gonna get this video out as soon as I can. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. We also got a Patreon. Please join that. It definitely helps support the channel. We'll see y'all out there. Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.